On the news this morning, Soludo seeks partnership with FEMA for massive road construction in the state. Deputy Governor Ibe Zim urges religious leaders to support Soludo's administration. House of Representatives invite Ngige others over face-off with ASU. Over 60 migrants killed in Syria boat submerged. Hello, beautiful morning to you and welcome to Breakfast News on ABS Television. I am David Opokwasele. Before the news in detail, here is a special message. Governor Twoma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's continue to give him maximum support for the task ahead. In continuation of his walking visit to the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Abuja, Governor Twoma Soludo was at the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, on a courtesy visit to the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Engineer Nuruddin Rafindadi. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Christian Aburime, in a statement said that Governor Soludo, who was received by his host, Engineer Rafindadi, commended the agency in the rehabilitation and maintenance of roads and doing more with little resources. The governor also sought for fruitful, productive partnership with the agency for the rehabilitation and maintenance of the roads in Anambra State. This productive partnership with FEMA will be strengthened with Anambra State Road Maintenance Agency to ensure that roads in the state are always in good condition. The partnership will also cover areas of financing, identification of the roads that need rehabilitation and maintenance, and how it will be rehabilitated and maintained for ease of movement within the state. He stated that the agency does responding, Engineer Rafindadi thanked Governor Soludo for the visit and thereafter gave a bit of the background of what FEMA is about. He stated that the agency does periodical routine rehabilitation and maintenance of roads with focus on interstate roads. On the proposed strategic partnership with Anambra State, the former boss welcomed the idea and said his agency looks forward on how to immediately harness the partnership as well as the potential it will bring in ensuring that roads in Anambra are in good conditions. It will be recalled that last week Governor Soludo flagged off more than 80 kilometers of roads in Anambra State across the 3 senatorial zones. The governor had also promised that before the end of the year, more roads will be flagged off to bring the total to about 220 kilometers. He gave a firm assurance that Anambra will be one big construction site with massive road constructions and other developmental projects that will be executed in the journey towards building a livable and prosperous homeland in the state. The State Deputy Governor, Dr. Onyeka Uchukwu has encouraged members of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, to be their brother's keeper amidst all odds. Deputy Governor Ibezim gave the encouragement during an a meeting with APGA stakeholders and world chairmen for Anambra East and West and Njikoka and Dunukofi and Anocha federal constituencies at the Government House in Oka. Our Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo tells us more.
Dr. Ibezim, while describing peace and unity as tools that enable any society conquer their enemies and make progress beyond imagination, explained that when peace reigns among members of the party, they will do exploits and retain the party in the minds of the people as their first choice. Deputy Governor Ibezim reminded the party faithful of the need to combine efforts to keep the party's flag flying, appealing to aggrieved members of the party to forgive their offenders for the sake of love for the party, and encourage all APGA flag bearers to identify with their constituents and make peace where necessary.
The rule of engagement for this kind of meeting is equal asa, not equal annual. And this meeting primarily for the aspirants, they are my local candidates. So let's pull the party through. I know that we will not succumb to everybody, everywhere, who has come anywhere. That is the rule.
Speaking, the member representing Anambra East and West at the Federal House of Representatives, Honorable Chinedu Obidigwe, who is also the APGA flag bearer for the same constituency in the forthcoming elections, and his state's House of Assembly counterpart, Honorable Pete Ibida, who is the APGA flag bearer for Njikoka and Dunukofia Federal House of Representatives, commended the state government for organizing the meeting, which they said was crucial in the party's preparation for the forthcoming general elections, and encouraged Indianambra to still show love to APGA in the elections.
In unity we stand, divided we fall. For you to know, one thing clear, the elections, there's nothing like who is this. You will not see Akoma, you will not see Ebele Chukwuobiano, or you will not see Ezego in the ballot papers, or Elegelede in ballot papers. You will only see the logo of the party. The logo of the party is a symbol of unity.
Look back the past and move forward. And when we are moving forward, we move with force. I can bet you that with this kind of reconciliatory meeting, that we are already there, the solution is there, and we are getting to the destination.
Also, in a related development, Anambra State Deputy Governor Dr. Onyeka Chukwuibezim has called on religious bodies in the state to partner Professor Chukwuma Soludo-led administration with their prayers for spiritual guidance and positive transformation in the state. Deputy Governor Ibezim made the call when he represented the State Governor Professor Chukwuma Soludo at the Anambra State Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria PFM Professionals Meeting Maiden Congress held at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. Government House correspondent Emmanuel Okonkwo again has the details.
The event, with the theme Engaging PFN Professionals Towards Building a Sustainable Development in the State, attracted PFN professional members from across the state and exposed them to their responsibilities in nation building and good governance. Deputy Governor Ibezim explained that the present government has a lot of good vision and plan for the state, and emphasized on the need for Christians to back them up with their prayers and humanly support for the actualization. He assured that the Soludo government will keep supporting religious bodies in the state for all-round development and total emancipation of the state.
So we need to actually know what we want. We are in perilous time, and this is the time for us to really go on our knees and pray to God as professionals, good heads. Okay, we are looking up to here, and the governor, the first governor to institute early morning service in the lodge. Anglicans come, Pentecostals, Catholics. So
in a presentation on the challenges of sustaining missions in the 21st century, lessons from history, Director General, International Institute of National Transformation, Professor Vincent Anibogo, said it is high time Christians took over their rightful position in leadership and stopped shying away from political and other leadership positions in the society, pointing out that leadership positions need people of godly knowledge and insight for excellence and efficiency.
On day 3, he created the land. What is the land? Infrastructure. So if you're a commissioner for infrastructure, who are you working for? Who will hold you accountable? Therefore, you are a minister. You can call yourself a politician, but in God's eyes, you're managing his resources. I don't know if I'm connected. And professors here, your job is to connect that discipline to God. If you're not doing that, you are raising half-baked students who will never have a fear of God. They will separate their discipline from God, not knowing that God owns it.
Speaking, the National Secretary, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Reverend Dr. Cosmas Ilechukwu, noted that Christians do not have dual lifestyle, but life of holiness unto God, which according to him is expected to be a daily characteristic of every believer at all times.
So I said, if every Christian professional and businessman goes into the marketplace, not just with the objective of making only money, but also of creating biblical influence, eventually things will begin to happen right. Corruption will be abated. and be reduced drastically, if not eradicated.
Anambra State Chairman PFN Bishop Moses Ezedebego, Vice Chancellor Nnamdi Azikiwe University Okra Professor Charles Esimone, among others, were present at the event.
Now we move to Agwata Local Government Council, where they've opened a digital hub targeted at increasing the digital skills of people of the area, thereby closing the unemployment gap. The facility is sited at the headquarters of the local government. Correspondent Onyinye Agubeze brings us the details.
We pray that as we come in here for learning, that wisdom shall be theirs, intelligence shall be theirs, and all it takes for them to learn and acquire knowledge shall be granted to them in Jesus' name. Amen. I hereby commission this digital hub in the name of the Father, in the name of the Son.
The hub was commissioned with the training of over 120 youths from the council area and different areas of information communication technology, ICT. Commissioning the project, the Anambra State Commissioner of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Honorable Tony Collins Wabuwanne, said the facility is in line with the initiative of the Governor Chukwuma Soludo's administration in making the state the industrial hub of Africa. Commissioner Wabuwanne thanked God and Governor Soludo for being the solution sought by the Anambra and commended the Agwata Local Government Transition Chairman, Dr. Chibueze Ofobike, for taking the bold step towards youth empowerment, noting that he has set a precedence for other local governments.
It's an opportunity to give you an insight of what this government is doing, because you can only hear from us directly, aside from those ones you hear from the roadside. So Biko, not to bug you more with words, but to say thank you for accepting to serve or to help the Anambra youth, because whatever you take here, you are going to transmit out there, and other people are going to benefit. Because who know Mochaya now? Some people who are more boy and they'll start learning from you too.
In his welcome address, the Transition Committee Chairman of Agwata Local Government Area, Dr. Ofobike, stated that the 120 trainees who are drawn from Agwata's 14 communities were trained in areas such as CCTV installation and solar engineering. He urged the participants to work hard, promising impactful training and empowerment to the top 10 students. According to Dr. Ofobike, with technological advancements and a high rate of unemployment, it is critical for youths to be involved in digital skill acquisition.
This is a country for the young people in Anambra State. Basically, what happened here today, are in two phases. One is the flag of 120 India Agwata that are being trained in digital skills, and specifically in CCTV installation, solar engineering.
In their separate remark, the special advisor to the governor on youth empowerment programs, Dr. Nelson Omenoha, and the managing director of Anambra State ICE Agency, Mr. Chukwuemeka Abata, congratulated the Transition Committee Chairman on the new field and called for the inclusion of non-indigens and persons living with disabilities in the program.
We've assembled them from the 14 communities we have in Anambra, in Agwata Local Government. Here you'll find persons of character, persons of good record, people that are interested in becoming someone, and people that are willing to partner with the government for their personal and development. From there, our hearty congratulations to Agwata Local Government for thinking through this initiative and for putting this initiative forward. Human capital development is the new wealth. And for the Mr. Governor, our principal and leader, is laying emphasis on not just skill acquisition, but it's laying emphasis on inclusive and sustainable youth development for women.
Others who spoke during the event were the facilitator of the training, the MD CEO, Pragmatic ICT Solutions, Godwin Ezal Basili, the traditional ruler of Ezinifite, Igwe Bob Oji, and the chairman All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, in Agwata, Honorable Vitalis Okorako. Some of the beneficiaries, Mr. Linus Ezedieni and Ms. Chineye Chikwando, expressed gratitude to the transition chairman for the opportunity, promising to be productive and to make their communities proud. From Agwata Local Government Area Headquarters, I am Onye Agubeze reporting for ABS News.
Agwata, a non-governmental group, League of Achina Women Professionals, LAW-P, has distributed learning materials across public primary schools in Achina, in Agwata local government area. LAW-P is comprised of women from Achina and those married into the town who are graduates and self-sustained. Correspondent Blessing Uchendo brings us the details.
The association focuses on interventions in health and education and carries out its activities basically in Achina community using available resources. Among the schools visited by the group in Achina were Central School, Obinipa Primary School, Migrant Farmers School, Progressive School and Primary School Ekachina. Educational materials presented to each pupil in the schools include school bags, exercise books, pencils, pens, and also snacks, among others. The program was tagged The Way Out of Poverty. In a presentation at each of the schools visited, the current LAW-P president, Mrs. Chinwemba, said that the objective of the group is to make sure that every Achina child acquires quality education, adding that basic education for every child is the driving force of school, economic and political progress. Mrs. Mba, a lawyer, said that they will continue to monitor the pupils up till university level to make sure they actualize their dreams, and also promised that LAW-P will continue to reward the best among them. She commended Governor Chukwuma Soludo for his love for education and appealed to him to send more teachers to public schools to help the pupils compete better with their contemporaries elsewhere.
We got together and decided to tackle two areas of the Millennium Goal, which is health and education. We started with health. There is a hospital in Nami which is dilapidated. We went and resuscitated it. It's now functioning with over 3,000 patients recorded. Here we are now facing education. We found out that the primary schools are in a sorry state, in the sense so much was done in the past, but there was no continuation. And as such, they are lacking in so many things. So today, we started with notebooks and bags for all the pupils we have visited.
On their parts, the President Emeritus of LAW-P, Dr. Dako Anyebwe, and the President-elect, Mrs. Josephine Ezenachi, encouraged the pupils to take their education seriously, utilize the opportunities available to them, assuring that with education, they will go places in life.
So I was in a obido tato sita deba mma na odigbo okwu na ania obu obele ego ụfọdụ n'ime anyị ada akwụzi anyị ụgwọ ọnwa ndị nọ university ada akwụ anyị ụgwọ ọnwa okwunuma mana anyị siriri na anyị ga-eme ife anyị kwesịrị ime.
Welcoming the group, the headmistresses of the various schools, Anastasia Opaletere, Florence Ezatuegu, Edith Keluka, and Vivian Bara, commended them for the gesture and promised to continue to mold the pupils in the best character.
Aga m agba mbọ hụ na ndị nkụzi na-akụzi ha ụmụaka na-eyuzu akwụkwọ otu ha kwesịrị isi na-eyuzi ya agaghị emebi ya emebi ya ha ga-eji ya gaa mụta ihe were ruo ebe a nwa onye isi ha kpọọ ha bịa kwuru na ha ga-ere oleanya ya bụ na ọ ga-adịrị ha mma tụ ndị akwadogoro na ọ ga-adịrị ha mma ọ ga-adịrị ha mma ka ha wee nwee ike cheji obodo anyị adịghịkwa n'anyị mma n'ahụ.
Speaking to the ABS, some of the pupils who benefited from the outing, Chialuka Ezanokote and Kosi Sochuku Ejimkonye, expressed appreciation to LAW-P and said it is a golden opportunity to further their academic pursuits and achieve their dreams, and assured not to disappoint. The group also embarked on a sightseeing of their resource center that is under construction at Mbaroye, Achina. From Achina, Agwata Council area, Blessing Uchendo, ABS News.
The Speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, has invited the Minister of Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngige, to appear before the lawmakers over the ongoing face-off with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, next Thursday. This was as the National Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA, reiterated that the Integrated Payroll Personnel Information System, the University Transparency Accountability Solution, UTAS, and the University Peculiar Personnel and Payroll System failed its integrity test regarding the university payroll, which the agency conducted between March and June. Also invited were the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, the Accountant General of the Federation, the Director General Salaries, Income and Wages Commission, and the Director General Budget Office, among others. The Speaker invited them on Thursday evening at the resumed meeting aimed at resolving the ongoing strike embarked upon by ASU. But Jabiamila and the Deputy Speaker Ahmed Idris Wase and other leaders of the House on Thursday met with the Head of Service of the Federation, Mrs. Folashade Yemi Eso, the Chairman of the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission, Mr. Ekpo Nta, among other government officials. The meeting was a follow-up to an earlier one with the Speaker held with ASU officials on Tuesday, where issues relating to the strike were discussed. The outcome of the Tuesday meeting led the House leadership to invite the head of service, the National Information Technology Development Agency, the Salaries and Incomes and Wages Commission, the Accountant General of the Federation, among others. To improve on its state of infrastructure, the federal government plans to spend about 49.7 trillion naira on capital infrastructure under its National Development Plan, NDP. President Muhammadu Buhari stated this at the Nigeria International Economic Partnership Forum held in New York, United States of America. The president, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, said to attain the objectives of the National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, it estimates that the country will require an investment commitment of about 348 trillion naira. Given a further breakdown of the figure, he said government capital expenditure during the period will be 49.7 trillion naira, while the balance of 298.3 trillion naira is expected from the private sector. Of the 14.3% government contribution, federal government of Nigeria's capital expenditure will be 29.6 trillion naira, while the subnational government's capital expenditure is estimated to be about 21.1 trillion naira. He maintained that the successful implementation of this plan will be heavily dependent on strong partnerships between the private and public sector, both with development partners outside Nigeria. The bodies of 61 migrants have been found after the boat they were traveling in sank off Syria's coast. They said the boat was carrying between 120 people and 150 people when it sank on Thursday night. The boat is believed to have been heading to Europe when it sank. Sitting on Syria's Mediterranean coast, Tartus, where survivors have been transported, is located about 30 miles north of the Lebanese port city of Tripoli. Officials said that the vessel had departed from the Mayan, a city near the Lebanese city of Tripoli. It is believed that the passengers were a mixture of Lebanese, Syrian, and Palestinian nationals and included some women and children. In sports, Super Eagles coach Jose Peseiro has reiterated his burning desire to win the next African Cup of Nations, AFCON, revealing that to achieve this, the team must improve its models, dynamics, and organization. The Super Eagles are on course for qualifying for the next AFCON scheduled to hold in Cote d'Ivoire next year after topping Group A with 6 points, courtesy of a 2-1 win over Sierra Leone and an emphatic 10-0 thrashing of Sao Tome and Principe in June. As part of their preparations for further qualifying games next year, the Super Eagles will face the home-based Desert Foxes of Algeria before clashing with main team and two-time AFCON winners on September 27 in Oran. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by liking our Facebook page at ABS Radio Television. Subscribe to our YouTube at youtube.com/ABS Television Oka. You can follow us on Instagram at ABS Radio TV and also log on to our website at www.absradiotv.com. Before we go, here are the main points again. We told you that Governor Soludo has sought partnership with FEMA for massive road construction in the state. Deputy Governor Ibezim has urged religious leaders to support Soludo's administration. We also told you that the House of Representatives have invited immediate others over face-off with ASU. Over 60 migrants have been killed in Syria, both submerged. Before we go, here's a special message. Governor Chukwuma Soludo has come for a total turnaround maintenance of the Anambra State economy and promotion of core Igbo values. Let's continue to give him maximum support for the task ahead. And that's the news this morning. Thanks for joining us. I am David Opokwasile. The Weekend Show continues right after now. Stay with us.